Greetings, this is Star Illumination. We've got a little mini video here for the Libra types regarding the North Node and Aries journey. Greetings, this is Star Illumination. Please, before you watch this, it would really help if you watch the primer video. It's on the channel somewhere in this group of videos about the North Node. The actual video is titled ARIES North Node. That's it. It covers the whole theme and the concepts and the journeys and helping to understand what is the North Node and the South Node. What is the nodal axis? Why is it so important in your personal astrology and so on. And then maybe come back here. Or if you watch this now, please go back and watch the primer video, okay? It's really, really important. It might be extra important, especially if you're a Libra or an Aries. Anyway, let's go over here. So here's another thing. I was advised to recommend that since we're talking about relationships, you know, when I do private readings for people, sometimes it's about relationships. And sometimes it can be really helpful to do what some people call cross-watching. If you're a cross-watcher and you like to keep abreast of like the dynamics of what's going on with your significant other or a potential significant other of some kind, then what people do, like let's say you're a Libra type of person, you have a significant other who might be a Gemini or a Virgo or something. You could watch the video for Virgo, all right? So it's in that list somewhere. And that would give you a little bit of background of what they're having to deal with. Now remember, this is not saying that you are born with a Libra South Node or an Aries North Node. We're just talking about the transit here right now that's happening for the whole of human people and the whole of planet Earth right now. So, where do we begin? Okay, the North Node is transiting through Aries now. It's just started. It's July 2023. It goes all the way through to early January 2025. It's an 18.5-year cycle for the nodal axis to go around and around and around. On Western astrology, the way I do charts, the planets look like they go this way, and the Earth-centric view is here. Okay. So it's an 18.5-year cycle, and so it's about 1.55 years in each sign. So this journey here, the transit, as the North Node moves from here to here, that's about 1.5 years. Now if you've got planets, and you're born with planets here in Aries or here in Libra, then this could be even more significant for you. Even without any planets there, this transit will have an impact. So it's good to know where this would impact you in your life. So let's start with the South Node. Typically for all people, the nodal journey is a journey. It's not a fixed destination, and it's been observed for thousands of years in primitive astrology and right up to modern astrology that this whole theme regarding the North Node journey is really, really important in understanding like your life purpose and your, let's say, destiny and where you came from. You might want to consider past lives. You might consider a legacy. What are you leaving behind after you leave this life? And so on. It's an 18.5-year cycle, so very few people are aware of anything that we're talking about up to the age of 18 or 19. But at the end of the second cycle, when you're about 37 years old, a lot of people have been through quite a lot of history for their lives, and they've realized that there's ups and downs, and they have regrets, and they have moments of heroism, and their glory days, and so on. But they still have a whole life ahead of them. They're trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Where am I heading? And that's when people start to really ask questions. So sometimes they don't even ask questions until after the second cycle. So the first cycle would be here, 18.5 years. Second cycle would be here up to the 37 years. So in terms of the journey, it would this is where you would start in infancy, you'd be about 18 and a half here, you'd be about 37 here, and then after that, you would hopefully be a more fully matured adult who is comfortable and okay with questioning yourself. Okay? Because most people want to have a good outcome in life. Some people don't. They don't know that they are terrified of the unknown, the fear of the unknown. A lot of people refuse to evolve. So what happens? So if you think of the South Node as your default settings from birth, and where you're going is into the unknown, then it is a journey. It's like an expedition. So for Libra, okay, Libra, relationships are fundamental to you. Think of the common keywords and themes. Love, relationships, harmony, balance, significant other. You being there for a significant other. Someone being there for you to the point where you can get to the point where in a really healthy relationship there's a fully matured, totally independent self connected to an equally mature and totally independent other, and then you become mutually, I guess it's called interdependent, where you enhance each other's lives above and beyond what you could achieve by the sum of the pair. In other words, you hook up with so-and-so, and instead of becoming this, you become this. Okay? And as you know, if you've been with my channel a long time, I do readings in such a way that we understand that there's you, there's a significant other, and there's this third entity which exists in a theoretical concept, and it's called the relationship itself. If you want to dig into that, get in touch with me personally, and it'll open your eyes and take you on a whole new journey. So we would do that. Before I get into this, let me go over here. So please, any donations would really help tremendously right now. If you want to book a private reading, go to the readings page and go from there. You can see how to book it and schedule it and make the payments and so on. Anyway, so if you're born as a Libra type and you're going through this Libra South Node transit, which is the Aries North Node transit, you might be alerted and woken up to discovering a lot of elements of your life that have not evolved when it comes to love, relationships, and how relationships and dynamics like that work. When you look at your significant others, by the time you're at the second cycle, 37 years and above, you've had relationships, you've got pets, you've got friends, you've got family, perhaps lovers or ex-lovers or spouses or ex-spouses, healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, relationships that were like learning journeys and then they end, and relationships that seem to be puzzles, and relationships that are long-term, permanent 3D type commitments, and all sorts of variation on relationship. But when we're coming from here on the South Node journey, the South Node in Libra would indicate coming from a position where you've done all that. Relationships are your default setting to the point where it's actually becoming an encumbrance. So you get to the point where you don't know anything else anymore besides relationship dynamics, and it can get to the point where it gets unhealthy and you've lost yourself. So over this 1.5 year period, if you start observing your life and your world, especially with relationships, you might realize that there's a whole new layer of awareness that is coming to you right now. So please take advantage of this. This isn't all bad. This isn't all good. It's just contrary, and it's about how evolution works. So if you are in a position in your life where you realize that relationships are very, very important to you, but you're also realizing that there are aspects of relationships that can be very dysfunctional to the point of debilitating or even abusive or unhealthy for you, then it's time to wake up and acknowledge that and then figure out, what am I going to do about that? Well, you have the right to do something. Let's take an extreme example. Let's say you're in an abusive relationship. and you've just accepted it for so long because that's your default setting. Like, I don't want to upset the boat. Like, if I try to separate or anything, my other half is going to go totally berserk on me, and I would just rather have bliss and harmony and live with the devil I know and just put up with it because everyone else does. Okay, can you see how debilitating that is as an attitude, to the point where you are literally imprisoning yourself? And then you've got Stockholm Syndrome, where you fall in love with with the prison. You fall in love with the people who are debilitating you, imprisoning you, impeding your freedom, your life, your independence, your true sovereign self. So kaboom! Guess what? Over the 37-year journey, there will have been episodes where circumstances would have lined up. Perhaps it lit up your North Node, or you went through the previous Aries North Node episode, when you were 18 and a half years or 37 years old, and you had these big awakening moments like, wow, I had a taste of what it's like to be me, and it was nothing to do with being in a relationship. And then you think, wow, man, that felt so good. Like freedom at last. And then you feel ashamed and guilty for announcing that you loved being on your own. You loved having a taste of what it's like to have your singular self, your sovereign self, without being contingent on anyone or anything else. So let's say you've got a taste for that, but you're embarrassed. You're ashamed about it because you feel as like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Does everybody else live like this or feel this way? You will discover that it's perfectly okay to liberate yourself and take charge of your life and your love and relationships. Remember, this is the house of open enemies, and you might as well discover, like, who are your open enemies? It might be a marriage partner. It could be a work partner or a friend who's betraying you, or whatever that might be, some kind of fundamental relationship. And then you realize, okay, so what's the point here? Well, the point is that once you get a sense of it, what it's like in your physical body and real life experience, and it feels good, keep going on that path. It might feel alien, but what I would hope that you would feel is that you would get a sense of like, my God, you know what? It's time for me to be in charge here. So let's say you get involved in a relationship dynamic, and you're constantly used to giving your time, energy, space, decisions over to the other party. And they just take that for granted. And they always think of you as like, oh God, they're so sweet. They're just like, they're always on my side. It's awesome. And there's you like realizing, what? I'm just giving away all my power. And you're sick of it. And so now you take charge. That really displeases these people. So these people, these types might disappear out of your life as they point fingers at you and say, yeah, you're just like, you're so selfish and mean. You're trying to take over. Well, that's exactly what you need to do. But don't be ashamed about it. Think of the Aries vibes. Strength, power, leadership, taking charge, get what you need, fight for what you want, go after what you need and want. You don't have to apologize. You have the right to be you. If you feel like it's awkward, apologize later rather than asking for permission now. Go for it. Take charge. Get in the lead. Let's say you're in a relationship dynamic with a dear one, a loved one, someone very close, a very significant other. And you realize, wow, I'm in a relationship. You know what? We're going to do this a new way. You can say, you know what? Guess what? Hey, honey. Hey, buddy. Guess what? I've got a real cool idea. I think it would be great if we went hiking this weekend. I want to go out and do some awesome, fun stuff. You want to go jogging with me? Come on, let's do it together. And the other person is like, what? You never invited me to go jogging before. Do you want to go on a road trip? Do you want to go out and, go thrift store hunting? Do you want to go and get some exercise? Do you want to go swimming? Do you want to go to a meditation class or a martial arts class or something? Come on, it'll be fun. And the other person kind of goes, Well, okay, that might be fun. And then you are effectively in charge. It doesn't mean you're controlling the other person. It's just that you're the one taking initiative. You're the one setting an agenda. And it's up to the other party whether they decide whether they want to comply and go along with you. But if they decline to go along with you, it doesn't mean this is the end of your adventure. You can say, okay, well, honey, listen, I really need to get out there. I want to do an early morning jog. So tell you what, I'll get breakfast when I get back. I'll see you tonight after work, blah, 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 and so on. So in other words, you take charge of your life and turn yourself effectively into the boss. Now, because you've got the Libra habits here, you're not going to turn into an unhealthy Aries type where you're becoming abusive and controlling and overpowering or thuggish or violent or verbally or physically abusive. Think of Mars energy gone bad. It's not that. We're talking about really healthy energy of claiming your sovereign space and self and just doing it. Do. Action, action, action. Very physical. Think of the physical body, okay? Again, I hope this makes sense for you. I hope you get something out of it. There's so many ways you can interpret it, but all I'm saying is for the next 1.5 years, please enjoy the delicious moments where you get a random experience to have a taste of this, okay? This is very, very good for you, Libra. So, thank you very much for watching and listening. I'm going to say farewell. Again, check in with the primer video, Aries North Node. And get in touch if you need anything, more private, more personal, or specialized. Take care, dear Libras.